Genuinely.
You have to walk before you can run.
You do have to walk before you can run.
You have to go to like
You've
a
got to
concert
crawl,
before you go to a
Doofing.
doof.
So true. Or go to a gathering before you go to a doof.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But then you could also just go straight into it as well.
There's so many things.
Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome
to the DoofCast.
Welcome to DoofCast, episode 1.
I don't know if we're going to make this like a segment of the In Your Mind podcast or if we're just going to make this a full another podcast. But we're here.
We've
We're
arrived.
recording.
We're ready to talk. It's kind of giving like, I don't know, the colours like Egyptian blue.
Oh, Egyptian blue. Egyptian blue hue.
And the gold as well.
True.
Yeah, like I feel like you could go floating down the Nile right now.
Oh.
Yeah, with the necklace as well.
Around the Nile.
Yeah, go for a float down the Nile. Why not? When in Rome.
Not? Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about doofing, the science of doofing.
The science of doofing.
And everything that it means to us.
Yeah. Open our hearts to you guys.
Hearts. What is doofing and what does it mean to you?
Okay.
What is it?
That is a loaded question because doofing can be a lot of different things and it can mean different things to different people. And I guess your classification of the doof may be different from others. But yeah, doofing is definitely different from like just dancing or going to a club, I reckon, or even just being at a gather.
Yeah.
I think it has to do with the people that you're with, how you open yourself to the people on the dance floor, whether you're open to receiving, I guess, other people's energy and like being lifted up by that or not. Yeah, I definitely think it's a mind-body connection that you're acutely aware of.
So all of those are encompassed in a doof.
Yeah.
All those factors.
I feel like they are, because if you're just like, you know, dancing, like you can just dance and go mindless with it, but I feel like, yeah, when you're doofing, everything's open to everything else and you're aware of that. You're not just like in your own head. I feel like you're more, open. I don't know.
So could you have a personal doof?
Yeah.
Or does doofing always involve like being around other people?
No, you don't have to be around other people. I was doofing on the plane the other day.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just me being aware and open and conscious.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing, just being conscious and thinking about your thoughts and what's going on in your head and how that's making you feel and what like your body wants to do with that kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. So doofing, it involves being conscious of your body, allowing everything to be there, and then also trying to connect with yourself and others. And music?
And music.
Does it involve music?
Oh, absolutely. It involves... Okay. Music is like the centerpiece that doofing revolves around.
Yeah.
If you don't have music, you don't have doofing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to have the music.
So when did you start this practice? When did you start doofing?
Well, we were kind of talking about this earlier, right?
Yeah.
Does everyone have a doof organ? Do doof organs exist? Because I feel like it's a journey. So you start off like, oh yeah, I've gone to this little gathering and I had fun doing that. I had fun dancing.
Yeah.
That was connecting with people. And then you go to another thing and then you're like, oh, this is really good. And then it starts to like open up. And yeah, I feel like it's something that like gradually grows and then you're aware that like, oh, I'm doofing now.
Yeah.
Like I'm not just dancing, I'm doofing.
Yeah. So
and the doof organ, it grows.
It sounds like a journey.
It is a journey. Yeah. Like everything, like life. You become aware and you realize.
Where would your doof organ reside?
I don't know. I haven't worked this out yet.
Yeah.
Where does the doof organ, where do you think it would reside? Do you reckon
in your heart?
In your heart? Yeah, in your heart, your soul. your head.
In your
Could be
heart.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Could be running like liquid through your body, like going to all parts of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of consciousness at its core and just awareness.
Mm-hmm. I reckon. Definitely.
But I like the concept of a doof organ.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, just the thought of a doof organ is really fun because I feel like I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I feel like I could, like, if I look through my past and like my connection with dancing and people and how it's changed and grown and evolved, like I feel like it's only like gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, like how I'm aware of what I do when I'm dancing around people and like how I want to connect and everything.
And does that translate into when you're not in the doofing like space, like when you're not dancing and you're not like trying to cultivate that? 100%. Like how does it translate?
Well, I think when you're doofing on the dance floor, like you're very vulnerable with yourself towards others, I guess. Like you're showing parts of yourself that maybe you're quite shy, like you wouldn't usually show, like you're not just going to start, I guess, bumping out into some crazy moves like when you're paying for your groceries, like that type of thing, but you're vulnerable enough to when you're on the dance floor. And then I feel like sharing that vulnerability with other people and everyone that is around you, I guess that kind of translates into everyday life. Like you're just like, well, I could be doofing right now, like why not? Like I don't know why I'm embarrassed to do this, or like why I won't just like be my true authentic self right now when I am on the dance floor. Like what's the difference between there and now? And I feel like it just makes you happier because you're like, I don't care. Like it makes you more honest with yourself in your daily life. I feel like for me, I've definitely had that experience, especially recently. More recently. Yeah,
definitely. I can also really relate to that. Like I think you kind of go, oh, I can be this free when there's music and in this environment. What's then the difference when I'm in like public? Yeah,
exactly.
And
when I'm just
on the street
doing my daily life.
Like,
and I feel like it just makes you happier as well because you're like, oh, I'm living by myself and who I am, and why do I need to be not live like this all the time? Like it's a choice that I'm making. Like it literally is a choice. I could just, be this honest and happy with myself all the time. I just have to like be like, okay, well, I don't give a shit about, anything else. Just
What made you view dancing in that way? Like,
well, it's something that's grown. Like it didn't start off like that at all. Like I think it was something like semi recently even. I felt like I had to go through a certain settling in period at a doof before I could enjoy it. And then like, I'd be loving it after I like settled in. I was like, oh, okay, I feel comfortable now. And then I think I started to question like, why do I go through that kind of start period where I feel like uncomfortable or like, oh, I've got to ease into it? Because like I feel like you and Bella, like when we went to Listen Out, especially this year at least, like you guys were just straight into it. And I was like, why am I being like this?
Yeah. Interesting. So it's like being able to recognize where you've been previously in those type of settings and then being like, oh, I actually really want to be in like this
I think it was more of just like I want to be in that state and I'm letting my own like fear of judgment from other people or something control that. And I'm like, there's no need to do that. That's just something that you've created for yourself. No one is watching you. Like, why are you behaving like that kind of thing? Like it's just a choice that you've made and you're deciding to live like that. And it's like, okay, well, I don't want to live like that. I'm going to make the decision to not give a shit. The art, like, how there's that book, I really should read it, The Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Literally that's what it is. It's
funny because I think it's something that everybody goes through and you can kind of see and feel in that environment, especially because it's like if you want to tap into like actually how you want to move, it requires a level of like not caring,
but also self-love. I feel like that's a big part of it, like loving yourself enough to be like, well, if other people don't appreciate this, it doesn't matter. Like I'm loving myself and who I am.
Why am I here?
Why am I here? What do I want to get out of it? Like mental blocks. Got to get rid of those mental blocks. And I feel like that's something that like kind of evolves through time. Like the more that you go dancing, I feel like you just get more and more vulnerable with everyone else, which makes you more vulnerable with yourself. and you start opening your heart to yourself more and loving yourself and being like, yeah, okay, that makes me happy. I prioritize that more than I do the judgment or whatever blocking factor might be preventing me from living like authentically and how I want to be living, kind of. Yeah.
So you also said like sometimes seeing other people be in that state then allows you to be like, oh, okay, why am I blocking something?
Yeah.
So what's like the role of the other?
I guess it's like
in those settings.
Like I guess at a doof in particular, or when you're doofing. When you're doofing. I guess it's the social connection aspect of it. Like you can see it happening, and then you're like, okay, I want to be part of that.
Yeah.
I want to be involved in that connection.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah. Because like, you know, when you walk in, you're like, oh my God, like, you know, everyone's dancing and you're all opening yourself up with each other. And it's like, okay, well, I want to be a part of that. So now I have to open my heart up to that too, to be able to get involved in that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I feel like...
Is that kind of what you were asking? I don't know if I caught the question right.
Just like, because you were kind of talking about how doofs can be like a solo thing. And then, but then there's also like music and events and things where you're surrounded by others.
Yeah.
So how do others
contribute to that
to it?
Okay.
The experience.
Yeah, well, I guess that's a beautiful, like, I guess as humans we all crave connection. And, you know, we're creatures of community, I'm going to say. Like, we love, like, you know, we're not happy by ourselves. I mean, some people are, but for the most part, I think it's shown that, you know, we kind of need connection with other people and to have those experiences with others and shared experiences that we can relate to each other through. And I was reading up on it and I found this really interesting. I didn't realise that when you're dancing with other people, your body actually releases oxytocin, the love hormone, which I found, I was like, wow, okay, that makes sense, which you know, when you think about it, like, you feel so much love for everyone around you, for music, and just gratefulness, I think, for being able to be that present in that situation.
Totally.
And yeah. So I think it definitely contributes. You can definitely do a solo one. I think it's great for the mind because you're like sitting there with yourself. Like, even when I'm on my run now, like, I'll have a little woo while I'm running. Yeah. And that's great. And that just hypes me up. Makes me so happy. I'm like, look at life right now. Hell yeah. I'm running in the bush. I've got some sick tunes. I've got some dirty tunes playing. And I'm dancing my heart out. What could be better? Yeah. And then you get to do it on the dance floor with other people. It's even better because you all get to share that experience with each other and open your hearts.
Fully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sick.
It is so sick.
Sick.
I also feel like I have like a different perspective though with like the other thing, because I find that like I feel like at the start of my journeying of like festivals and raves and doofs, and I was very focused on like making other people feel good and how other people were enjoying their time, and too much focus on other.
Oh, I definitely relate to that. Yeah, I definitely went through that experience as well, where I was...
It just, like, makes you think, like, you can't actually be present if you're worrying about, like, making other people feel
okay,
good.
like, you feel included. No, that's something that you've been like, no,
what are they thinking about, or, like...
Yeah, worried if they're enjoying it, and then... Yeah,
or worried about their judge. Like, it's the same thing as well. It's like judgment or enjoyment or anything.
Yeah.
Which then would like negatively impact
how you were and
how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Which made me not present, basically. But then realizing that like, oh, I really enjoy things when I'm able to first like drop present myself, basically. Like just get into my like groove first.
Yeah.
And then kind of open myself to others.
Slowly,
to others.
Like, release. Yeah.
But like sense. I have to like first know. It's like put your own air mask on before others.
I feel like I'm the opposite when I go kind of.
Okay.
Like I feel like at the start I'm more like, I don't know, I feel like I go through little fluctuations actually when I think about it, because I'll go through periods where at the start I like really like sharing like the early kind of start of things, like to an extent.
Yeah.
And that's probably just a part of me, like, slowly being able to open myself up, I think, because I'm better at doing it now, but I feel like I still go through, like, at the start.
Yeah.
Something to work on, to an extent. And then, I think as it goes along, I go more into myself, kind of, and I'm just, like, free.
Yeah.
And then I'll go through a period where I might be like, oh, okay, I want to talk to people now.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah. No, I definitely think it is, like, you have, like, time for going, like, introspection.
Yeah.
And then times that you want to, like,
go
share
out.
and then, like,
so true.
go in.
Yeah, definitely,
but, like,
cycles.
Can't enjoy the experience if I'm not first understanding my own
yourself
thoughts
and how you're
myself
thinking.
and the music.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Like, I first need to work out, like, am I enjoying it? Like, what?
Yeah.
Where am I right now?
Yeah,
like, where's
that's
my
true.
body?
Yeah.
Where's my headspace? What is this music? Where are we right now?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
just, like,
that's very
centering the self a little bit.
Yeah.
Before, like, reaching out.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
now that you've said it like that, I kind of think maybe I delay that when I go.
Yeah.
And then it happens when I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it would be good, I think, quite beneficial to do that, like you said at the start, to try and kind of sort the thoughts and get your head wrapped around everything. And then, because I definitely feel like after I've gone through that kind of introspective phase where I'm like, okay, don't hold tension, like, just relax. You're here, you're present, have fun with it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Don't have any expectations, just go out there and enjoy it. I feel after I go through those thoughts and that process, then after that I'm like, I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm, like, aware.
That's awesome.
I'm present. So definitely.
But I think it's definitely a journey of, like, going there, coming back to it, going there, coming back to it.
Yeah.
But, like, I think it makes you like more social and more receptive to others.
Definitely.
But also it just is reflections of how you are and, like, where your limitations may be, or, like, where you're at in life.
And I guess it's good you're being honest with yourself. That's a lot of personal growth. I feel like each time you do something like that. Because you've learned something about yourself, or
what are some of the things that you've learned?
Oh, okay, this is a good one. Well, I think the main one is just being honest with myself. Once again, like, this thing that I have about, like, oh, I'm scared of judgment and that. I think that's the biggest thing. Every single time I feel like I go to a doof or I go doofing, I chip away at it a bit more and I just become more and more, I guess, present in my own life and stop kind of being scared of who I am. I'm going to say scared of who I am. Like, I just become more of what I am every time, or who I am.
Wow.
In here.
Yeah.
That I know that I am in here, but I might not express, like, physically on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it because you feel like you're able to show that in that setting?
Yeah, because I'm vulnerable in that setting. And then going back to what I was saying that we were talking about before, it's like, hey, well, if I can live like that, you know, if I can be honest, like, with myself there, what's the difference between being at the grocery shop, being here? I can be silly anywhere and make that choice, and who cares?
Yeah.
And I also think it is who you set yourself around as well. Like, when you see and hang out with people that are like that, it makes you more like that as well. Yeah. Which I think is so good.
Yeah.
Totally. And it just shows you the power of the people that you spend your time with. You know?
Yeah.
It's powerful. Yeah. It's so powerful.
No, it is so true. And,
who
like,
you spend your time with. Yeah. It can change you.
Yeah. Because in that setting where you're opening up, receiving more oxytocin, and it's so memorable when you have music and beat and movement. It's like, and you're ingraining those
and faces
things.
And joy. Yeah. It really is.
You, like, get to experience, like, new ways of being, because, like,
I
don't know, like, I think about you and I think about, like, how you can just, like, Free will be, like, with her fan and she will just be, like, pure bliss, like, no filter, and you can tell when you're in that and you're like, okay, I can be free to be like that.
That's, like, exactly what it is. I just think of myself there.
Like,
when I'm in that state, I'm like, yes, and then I'm like, why am I not doing this all the time? So I'm even getting happy thinking about it now. I'm like, yes, fuck yeah.
And, like, I also have all these things that play of, like, different people that I've gone doofing with. And, like, either their moves or something that they do in that state that makes you feel really good and makes you feel like, yes. Yeah.
Like I know you're dancing and Bella's dancing, and then I remember
Yeah.
Gemma's dancing at Lost Paradise. I just
Yeah.
loved her dancing. I remember that
Yeah.
stuck in my head. I was like, Gemma's dancing was so sick.
Yeah. Everyone's
Moves so individual.
Yeah.
But
And sometimes
yeah,
it feels like
so-
you're cultivating it. Like it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm doing a Brie move right now.
Yeah.
Or I'm doing a Bella move.
Sometimes
Or
like
I'm
we're doing a
Gemma
Kira
or
move,
I'm
and
doing-
it was like, ooh,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
so fun.
cool.
Because you're sharing that with other people, and then like, you know, they're like, oh, I want to be a bit of Kira. I want to be in a Kira mood, like do a bit of Kira magic right now.
Yeah, it's like how you can get yourself into different states and ways of being, and then practice those ways of being.
Yeah.
Yeah, and try it on,
Mhm.
basically.
Yeah, try it on, try on that outfit,
energy
see how
on.
that feels, and it's so
Yeah.
much fun because you're like, oh, I like this.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fun, and then
Yeah.
like you kind of cultivate that even more and work, like, you know, you support it and it grows, and then that might become a part of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You adopt it.
Totally. Yeah, it's
Or you
kind of
can
like
adopt it.
language. Like, you know, when you spend your time hanging out with certain people.
You start using certain
you start
terms that they use and their
yeah.
humour and the way that they. Do you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah. Yeah, fully. But it's like the same thing. It's hanging around people and learning ways of being through, whether it's through like language or dance moves or even just like energy states that you're able to cultivate.
Energy. So true. How much energy you're giving and sharing, and what you're open to receiving in the moment.
So I had this question. I feel like we've kind of
Covered
talked
it.
about it, but it was like, what has your Doof evolution been like / looked like?
Okay, yeah, actually, like looking at this timeline wise, I definitely think it probably started with my early music interests.
Yeah.
I was very into like my EDM when I was younger, like some of the hectic like EDC, like Millennium and stuff like that. Loved that. Not so much into it now, but I put it on every now and again, and I'm like, oh, this is a little walk down memory lane, which is nice. So I definitely think it started off with that because I was like already into like the electronic music kind of scene. And then I guess in high school, kind of going to, not even in high school, I don't really know when it would have, clubbing maybe. Clubbing was like an early thing. Like sometimes the DJs played decent music that I liked, and I kind of let myself go to an extent there.
Yeah.
Probably not the same though. I'd say it probably started more like going to the first festival, to be honest. I reckon that was like a huge thing because I just left that and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So good. And also exposed me, I guess, to more music as well. Even though I was listening to a lot of stuff then, it probably wasn't as like niche as it is now. Like it was probably more general, broad audience stuff. But then from there, it kind of like funneled in and I got more into different genres and stuff. And then I feel like, we went to our little techno thing, underground rave. That was really fun. That was sick.
Yeah. Yeah, going from like
and
events
then more festivals.
To then festivals and then multi-day.
Yeah.
I think a multi-day as well has like a different effect because there's more time to reflect.
There is.
And dance.
So much more.
Way more introspection.
Yes.
Because
during the
there's just time
day,
for it.
like you've got so much time, you've got hours, and you just
Yeah.
you do, you reflect and you think about, ooh, how was
What-
that? What do
the
I want to
good
do tonight? The good
moments.
moments, the bad
Yeah.
moments. What do I want to do tonight that's different maybe? Or do I want to go on a side quest tonight? Do I not?
Yeah.
Do I just let myself do whatever I do, you know?
What would be a side quest?
Like,
what's a side quest?
What's a side quest?
Yeah.
Okay. We love side quests. So, a side quest. Okay, so you're in the doof, right? You're all doofing together.
Yeah.
We're all dancing.
Yeah.
And
dancing.
then suddenly this little thing goes on in your brain,
Ding,
and you're like,
ding,
bing,
ding,
ding, or side quests are calling. So when that happens, you're like, okay, I feel like getting up to some like gremlin, goblin behavior maybe. Doesn't have to be gremlin or goblin behavior, but you just feel like kind of running off and doing something different.
Yeah.
So, you know, it can be by yourself, it can be with other people, but it just means that you're going to leave the dance floor for a bit to go see what's happening. I feel
Yeah.
like that's what it is. You're just going out, you're seeing what's happening.
Yeah.
You might pop to a few different stages. Otherwise, you might just go for a walk through different areas to see what people are doing, see if there's any fun stuff happening.
Yeah.
Have a few chats with random people. That's a great part.
Yeah.
That's really fun doing that. Yeah. So it's just like when you have the urge to like exit the dancing state.
So
for
what
a
does that
moment.
tell you about the state to be able to be wanting a side quest?
I don't
Where
know
are
if-
you at?
I don't know if you want a side quest. It just happens.
Why does it happen?
Why does it happen? Well,
Like what state were you in previously?
yeah, well,
that warranted
so let's
that?
say previously you may have been in a deep doof state, and then you've come out of it, which could be because the music changed. Maybe your body's a bit sore. Maybe you just feel like talking. Like it could be a lot of different things that
Yeah.
kind of motivate you to go on a side quest. Otherwise, sometimes it can also be you're just having such a good time doofing that you're like, oh my gosh, I've got so much excitement and happiness and joy in me right now that I need to go run off and tell other people and share that with other
Yeah.
people.
Oh, I love that.
Because the people around me know that I'm in that state. I need to go do
Share
that to other people.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any memorable moments that you can think about or recall?
Oh, so many memorable moments. I'm like, where do you begin? Where do you begin?
Where do you even begin?
Where do you begin with that?
So true.
Oh, dancing with you and Bella is always the greatest thing ever. I love that. Yeah, that's so special when we do that. I love that. Yeah, just, I don't know. They're all memorable, really, but because I feel like they're all so important, all the moments that they're all building on top of each other and kind of contributing to an overall experience or memory.
For me, it's just like these little like tiny snapshots.
Yeah, it's like
of,
the
like,
little ones that you
moments.
remember, the little moments, like I feel like everyone's smiling and you're all just like on
Yeah.
the same wavelength. Like they're like ones that I really hold dear to my
Yeah.
heart.
Or people like coming to you and being like, come with me.
Yeah, that
Come
type
with
of thing.
me.
Like,
And then like moving you into like a different
yeah,
spot.
that's so
of,
true.
like,
That's
the
so
dance
that's such a
floor.
special. That's like, ooh.
And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like oh my god, okay.
Or
Yeah.
like, I think it was New Year's Eve last year when we were all like in a little groove, in a little group.
Is this when we're all circled?
I think
like
we were
that?
circling.
Or something?
We were very much vibing.
We're all together.
And we're all together.
Yeah.
And this like older lady came up to me and she was like, hey, I've got a secret. And I was like, oh no. Like, are you going to harm me? Are you going to like
no.
help me? Like,
What are you gonna do?
I'm skeptical. I'm always skeptical of like
Yeah.
other people on mischievous side quests as well. And like,
I
are they going to
know.
try and play a trick on you?
Yeah, because
Or
it
are
kind
they
of does
trying
feel like
to,
you can just see that. I feel like there's a little twinkle in
Yeah,
their eye, and you can
you're
just
like,
tell that something's.
oh,
they're like,
something-
"Ooh, I'm up to
something's
something."
something's there. But she was like, hey, if you follow me, you might get good luck.
Oh,
And I was like,
what does that mean?
Okay. And I was like, do I do it? Do I not? What if I lose the group? What? And then she pointed and it was like only a few meters away. So I was like, oh, easy.
Easy.
And then I go over to her and she's like, see this hoop? If you jump over it,
Oh,
you
I
get...
forgot about that.
Yeah. You get good luck.
I fully forgot about the jumping.
Yeah.
That was so good.
I know.
Memory unlocked.
Memory
See, this is
unlocked.
the cool thing because
Yeah.
someone else will remember something that you've forgotten about.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, that
Remember
was
that?
so good.
Yeah. And then she was like, yeah, if you jump over it, you get good luck. So we're like, oh, well, duh.
Yeah.
And then I remember going over and telling everybody else.
Yeah,
I was
and
like,
then
okay,
we
we
all
all
came
need to do
to
this.
do it.
And we made like a line.
Yeah.
We all jumped over the hoop
That was so
and got good luck.
I forgot about that.
And it was so cool. And it was a great way to
Oh.
like have a new year as well. Like,
Yeah.
good luck for the new year.
That's so true.
And it was also cute that like they were an older group, like maybe in their like 40s, 30s,
Yeah.
like that kind of
Cultivating and encouraging the young ones to
Totally.
just be like,
Totally.
woo, you know?
it felt like very like rite of passage.
That rite of passage, passing
Yeah.
down the knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the, yeah.
and like a
in
way
some-
to show how to
or
like
the
be
energy.
silly
Yeah.
on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Like how to like bring people together.
Together,
Like that's something
yeah.
that you can do
And then you can just involve everyone.
Brings everyone together.
Yeah.
Which is also like doof sticks, because doof sticks
Doof
can bring people
sticks
together.
And fans.
And fans bring people together.
Fans bring people together.
What is your
Glow
experience
sticks.
of fans
So,
bringing people together? Because I feel
I'm
like
actually very
it's very
fond
attached to you.
of fans. So, yeah, this is kind of funny. So, was it you that found the fan?
Bella.
So Bella found a fan at Lost Paradise last year, and it's just been coming with us to all the doofs pretty much. And somehow I always end up taking the fan, and I pretty much have it for the entire duration of the doof, unless someone else wants it, which I will give it to them.
She gives
but
it to people, and then like
most of the
majority
time,
of the time
I'm holding it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love
The
it
fan keeper.
because it just like it's a easy way to kind of, I guess, connect with other people outside of like whoever you go to the doof with, like, because everyone's hot, you know. There's no doubt about that. So you just give them a little fan, and it's a great way to kind of create bonds and get chatting with certain people. Yeah,
totally.
Creating the community.
Yeah,
and
the
the openness.
Like, such a great fan, like lord, honestly, because she will be there like fanning the person in the back right if they like put a hand up, like fan me over here. Yeah, like.
I love it. I don't know what it is.
So
it's
good,
just
though.
when I get handed the fan, I just love it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it
is.
is.
To dance with too.
I really like dancing with it because I feel like I like having something in one of my hands, like when I'm dancing. Like, I don't know.
Feels like very like conducting.
I feel like conducting. I'm energy conducting. I am. I'm like, all right, you need a fan. Yeah. And then like, I don't know, you can just do some fun stuff with it.
Yeah.
Like, because it's so big and bulky, you're like, this is holding the energy right now.
The sacred
This is
fan.
where the energy is coming through the hand into the fan. And it's like getting bigger. And then it's getting transferred.
It's like a mascot of the rave, honestly.
It really is.
A fan.
Yeah.
A fan and a scarf.
A fan and a scarf and a doof stick.
And a doof stick. Do you see doofing / raving as medicine? Why or why not?
Yes, medicine. Medicine of the mind. Medicine of the
mind.
heart. Medicine of the body.
Ooh.
Mind, heart, body connection. Everything. So, to get started, the physical, right?
Yeah.
You're doing some pretty intense cardio when you're dancing, which obviously releases, you know, positive endorphins, good hormones, serotonin, dopamine, reward hormones, all that business. So it's really good in that respect mentally, also physically as well, because, you know, some aerobic, is it aerobic exercise? I think it is oxygen. I don't know. It's one of them.
Yeah.
Aerobic, yeah. You know, you're exercising the blood vessels, all that.
Cardio,
yeah. Good in that sense. But then, yeah, I think the mental benefits are huge and like the spiritual ones as well. Because like we would kind of talk, I think for me personally, my experience, it just comes back to that being more honest and open with myself and being able to, I guess, let go and just be who I am without any reservations. And then, yeah, I think like after going to a doof, I'm just happy, like for weeks upon weeks, and the memories, and I think it just makes me really, like, it just makes me happy. Yeah, mental medicine, 100%.
Because you're like going through blockages or going through like.
Yeah, I think it just resets you to an extent. Like, especially like I guess in today's society, we're all working really, really hard. You know, we're all working our asses off. It gives you, I guess, a source of release that kind of gives you hope for humanity as well. I think seeing that like in front of your eyes and just seeing everyone work together, and it's like peace, joy, love, happiness. It's like, wow, there really are things to fight for. It gives you a broader, I think, I guess, view of, you know, life and connection and happiness and what can be achieved.
Because we're all like, if there's a beat and we're all present in that one moment all together, that is like joint humanity.
Yeah, because
like,
there's so much discord in the world, but it's like there you can see it and it's raw and it's real and it's true. And I think even that, like that has benefits, just seeing that, and that can give you hope. Yeah. You know? So I think, so many different ways that it can be medicine. Yeah. Like it's not one way. It's not just medicine in one form, like thousands of different ways for different people.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can work differently.
So like I also agree that it's medicine, and that it is a journey with yourself and understanding the world in a different way, and
a different context.
Hope. I also think that if you are in the same environment, experiencing yourself in that environment gives you more clues to how you were in prior like years or times, like basically like going to a festival again and again and again, like the same one or the same place,
kind of shows the evolution.
Can show the evolution of your openness.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, which can be like real medicine too. Yeah, because
like the power of reflection.
And yeah, it shows you like what has improved since like you were there previously, and then also like where you're still getting stuck.
Yeah, where you're getting stuck. Yeah, because I guess like, you know, in the past you may have been unstuck, but now you're stuck in the future, and it's like, okay, well, how do what can I do to change that? Because I know that I've like gone through phases where I've been unstuck in the past, but then get stuck now in the present, and I'm like, okay, well, for sure, the only way that you can kind of unstuck yourself is by remembering like, why did I not okay, well, you're being silly, Brianna, like just do this and now I'm unstuck. For sure. I feel like you can forget that you get stuck, or you don't realize sometimes you get stuck until you're faced with the and situation, and then you realize
like such a clear place to, because it's a lot of the time it's so loud, the music's so loud that you can't actually fully have conversation with people, or if you're having conversation it's like a couple words here and there, so like a lot of it is very introspective, so you're able to like really reflect on these comfortabilities and like uncomfortabilities, and then like working out like what feels good, or even like what moves feel good, what feels like you're breaking through something, and then
because I know that sometimes like even when I'm dancing, like I go through phases where I'm like, I feel like I need to keep up with everyone else, kind of like maybe my legs are a bit sore and I'm like, oh, they're feeling heavy, and then I'm like, no, you don't actually have to move that fast, you can just like slow down, like, don't worry, you know, stop concerning yourself with that and just be present. Like really that's true. Like a mini stuck moment, like you just really stuck for a bit, and then you're like, oh no, don't need to be stuck.
And then allowing yourself, giving yourself that like medicine in that moment to be like, oh, you actually don't need that. You don't need to force this. You can just be here. You can just be. You don't even need to dance.
You don't. You could just stand there right if you wanted to. Like, there's no one.
You can sit down.
Yeah, you could take your shoes off, you lay down, get water, have a nap.
You could do whatever you want. But even the comfortability in leaving the dance floor and coming back is like a huge step.
That's a huge step.
Or moving from a position.
Migrating is a lot.
That is a lot. Yeah, because you need to be like, oh, am I going to lose these people? Can I find them again? Okay, reality is I need to kind of be okay if I do lose them. But also I have a lot of trust that like if they're in this area, we've said we're going to be in this area. You
know that you can hunt them down,
kind of. You can hunt them down.
It's like, if you need to go to the toilet, girl, just go to the toilet. Yeah. Let your body have that. You'll be able to find them.
Yeah. But yeah, that's an evolution in itself.
But even like when you're with the group and you decide to migrate,
you
know, that's also a big thing when you're like deciding like, oh, are we ready to migrate? Are we ready to get closer? We're going to be in more. You've got to be prepared for that.
Totally. Yeah.
It's so funny thinking about the migrations. I love that they're called migrations as well.
Migration.
Because the group, it's like, I guess the group, we're migrating everyone.
Yeah.
Like the wildebeests in South Africa. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if that's South Africa. It might just be Africa in general. I feel like they go from the top to the bottom, so they'd be crossing. I don't know.
The wildebeest. Okay, last question.
Okay.
What is the recipe for a good doof?
Oh, this is such a good question. I love this. What's the recipe for a good doof? All right.
Ingredients.
Good attitude.
Good attitude? What's the attitude?
Okay. I feel like you've just got to be, open. Not expecting anything. Like, don't have any preconceived notions about what it should be.
Okay.
I feel like that could ruin a doof. Having that. because you're expecting things and then you're disappointed. So you've got to go in and you've just got to be like, whew, what will be, what will be. I'm going to take something from it either way. Might be good, might be bad, but I'm learning. Self-growth. So just know that it's going to be an adventure and a journey. Have some good people. Yeah. Good Doof friends.
Good Doof crew.
Doof crew. Yeah, great. You've got to have a fantastic Doof crew.
Yeah.
That makes the biggest difference, I feel like, having a good Doof crew. And yeah, I feel like you kind of have to be in the right headspace as well to be able to go to the Doof.
Yes.
So if you're not in the right headspace, don't go to the Doof.
So what's the headspace?
You've just got to be feeling, I think, really comfortable in yourself. You know, you've got to be open and happy. Like, you don't have to. I mean, it is good. I feel like you kind of do have to be. What I'm trying to say is, if you don't think you're in the right headspace to handle kind of being surrounded by people, like, you just have to be in the right headspace to be able to handle that environment, kind of.
It's very intimate.
Yeah, you've got to be, you do have to be in a good state of mind that can kind of, I think, wrangle with the potential obstacles that you might face. So I think if you can't face the obstacles there, you might not be able to get anything out of it. It might not even be beneficial. You know, it could have more negative impacts than positive impacts, I think. But then maybe you could be in a bad headspace and then the Doof does help at the same time. I think it just depends on the situation.
I guess it's your openness as well.
Yeah, I think it's just how open you are. Do you really,
do you want to be?
And if you're I think also why you're going as well is probably a reason. Yeah, if you're just going for yourself and you know that it's going to act as medicine for you, yes. If you're going for connection, but you feel like you're not open to making connections, or like you're not going to be, you don't want to. Yeah,
you don't have that energy.
If you don't want to, I think that's the thing. Like, you can be, like, you know, you might not be ready to make connections, but once as you get there, you may. But if you don't actively want to make connections, but you're going for the reason of connections, that doesn't really make much sense. Yeah, so good Doof crew.
Good
You're
attitude.
in the right space, headspace, attitude. You're feeling, you're feeling good. You're feeling like you're ready. You're excited for a good Doof. Recipe for a good Doof. I was like, what word did we use? what sprinkling of language did we use? Good Doof crew. Good music.
Good music.
Music that you align with.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, music that you know you can get down to.
Yeah, music that you know that you can get down and boogie to.
Makes you feel open.
Makes you feel open. Yeah.
And
a
scarf.
Fun outfit
A
as
scarf,
well. Fun outfit. Fan, scarf.
Some sunnies.
Some water.
Hydration.
Have a good meal before. Look after yourself. Yeah, that's
preparation.
That's true. Preparation. You've got to be ready. You've got to make sure that you've eaten.
Yeah.
You've got to have the energy reserves to be able to do it.
Rested.
And then, I think if you follow those things, you're in the making to have a fantastic Doof.
Yeah.
Friends that support you. So you can have a good Doof crew that can have the energy, but, you know, you also want people that you know are going to be there for you as well, which I guess kind of comes into the good Doof crew thing.
Good Doof crew,
Yeah.
Wow. Recipe for a good Doof. So follow that.
I know.
And you'll have a good time.
For the most part.
Let's go Doofing.
Let's go Doofing, guys. It's time.
It's time.
Well, it nearly is time, actually.
It actually is. A few more days.
Is it a few days?
Kind of.
Okay.
Like, and Doof Tales.
And Tales of the Doof.
Because we'll be going to Lost Paradise in a few days. So we're going to try and gather some stories. Maybe even record some stuff while we're there. Which would be interesting. Yeah. And some Creek Chronicles as well.
Creek Chronicles.
Like in the
Got in the bush.
In the bush.
Like got in the bush and doofed in the bush. Like actually in the bush, like not in the open patches.
Climbed up a tree.
Yeah, climb up a tree or something, get a vantage point.
Yeah.
Actually, fuck yeah.
And we'll send a message from there.
Yeah.
So we'll see you next time from the tree.
From the tree. We'll be up there with the koalas.
Yeah.
And the possums.
And
whoever else decides to join. And Kira. And the fan.
The fan will
be there.
Thanks for listening to DoofCast. Bye! Doof, 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 doof. Get doofy, doof,
get doofy with it.
Doof, doof, doof. Get doofy with it. Doof, 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 doof.
Be the dance floor instigator. Be the dance floor instigator. Be the dance floor instigator. Oh, huge success! Yeah, you could put it on a table and it could be a table runner.
It could be.
You know?
Maybe that's what
Maybe it is a
used
table
for.
runner.
It is past.
It actually might be a table runner. It looks like a table runner. Like the shape of it.
It actually
And the way the
does.
patterns are patterning.